Have you ever had your credit card declined for a $1 pregnancy test? The dollar store clerk looked at me with that specific combination of pity and secondhand embarrassment that only comes from watching someone's card get declined for the absolute minimum purchase possible. She tried it 3 more times while the line behind me grew. Maybe try another card, she suggested gently. I only had one card. Rupert had canceled the others when he found out about my spending last month. Financial responsibility, he'd called it, cutting up my cards while lecturing me about budgets. The one card left had a $500 limit, and apparently I'd hit it. I'll come back, I mumbled, leaving the pregnancy test on the counter. The woman behind me, leather purse probably worth more than my car, stepped forward. I'll get it for her, she said loudly. And throw in some prenatal vitamins. She'll need those. The shame burned through me as she made a show of her charity. I wanted to run, but I needed that test. Rupert had been tracking my periods on his phone, and he'd noticed I was late before I did. Better check, he'd said that morning. We can't afford surprises. We couldn't afford anything. Despite his 6-figure salary, Rupert controlled every penny. My allowance went to groceries and gas. Everything else required permission, receipts, justification. But somehow there was always money for his golf membership, his bourbon collection, his surprise boys trips to Vegas. I sat in my car staring at the test, afraid to take it here where someone might see. But home meant Rupert would hover, analyze, make spreadsheets about child costs while I peed on a stick. So I drove to the library bathroom. 2 pink lines appeared immediately. Clear, undeniable, terrifying. My phone rang. Rupert, because of course he was tracking my location too. You've been at the library for 20 minutes. Gas isn't free, Mallory. Just needed to use the bathroom, I said, voice steady despite everything crumbling inside me. There's a bathroom at home. That's an unnecessary 4-mile round trip. That's $1.78 in gas at current prices. $1.78. He calculated the gas cost, but hadn't noticed I'd maxed out the credit card he monitored so carefully. Because his monitoring was never about money, it was about control. That night, I waited until after his precisely timed Tuesday intimate session, the Google Calendar event he'd created for our sex life. As he updated his spreadsheet tracking frequency and duration, I said, I'm pregnant. His fingers stopped typing. How much will termination cost? Not, how do you feel? Not, what do you want? Just the cost of erasure. I don't know, I whispered. He pulled up a browser, researched for exactly 12 minutes, then said, between $500 and $2,500 depending on timing. Book something tomorrow. The earlier the cheaper. I didn't book anything. Instead, I called my sister Naomi in Oregon. We hadn't talked in 2 years, not since Rupert decided she was a negative financial influence, because she'd suggested I should have my own bank account. Mal, she answered on the first ring. Are you okay? No, I said, and everything poured out. The financial abuse, the tracking, the pregnancy, the declined card, the stranger's pity purchase of my pregnancy test. Get in your car right now, she said. Drive here. Don't pack. Don't leave a note. Just drive. I can't. The gas. I'm sending you money. Check your phone. $500 appeared in my Venmo instantly, more than I'd had access to in months. I left at 3 a.m. while Rupert slept, his phone charging on his nightstand, my location still pinging faithfully at home because I'd left my phone behind. Bought a burner at a truck stop with Naomi's money. By the time Rupert woke up for his 5:30 a.m. gym session, I was crossing into Oregon. The texts I saw later, forwarded by my lawyer, were exactly what you'd expect. First confusion, then anger about the theft of his car, legally mine, then threats about reporting me for grand theft auto, then bargaining about coming back to discuss financial arrangements for the situation, and finally, rage about the divorce papers he was served at his office. I kept the baby. Luna is 3 now. We live in a tiny apartment above Naomi's garage. Money is tight, genuinely tight, not Rupert's manufactured scarcity, but I have my own bank account with my own money from my own job, all $247 of it. Last week, Luna and I were at the dollar store buying sidewalk chalk. My card was declined. Different card, different reason. I'd forgotten to transfer money from savings. The same clerk was working. She recognized me, I could tell. As I scrambled for cash, she quietly voided the transaction and handed me the chalk. On the house, she said with a genuine smile. We've all been there. We have, but not all of us make it out.